Gain-of-function research. GOF research or GOFR is medical research that genetically alters an organism in a way that may enhance the biological functions of gene products. This may include an altered pathogenesis, transmissibility, or host range, that is, the types of hosts that a microorganism can infect. This research is intended to reveal targets to better predict emerging infectious diseases and to develop vaccines and therapeutics. For example, influenza B can infect only humans and harbor seals. Left square bracket 1 right square bracket introducing a mutation that would allow influenza B to infect rabbits in a controlled laboratory situation would be considered a gain-of-function experiment, as the virus did not previously have that function. Left square bracket 2 right square bracket left square bracket 3 right square bracket. That type of experiment could then help reveal which parts of the virus's genome correspond to the species that it can infect, enabling the creation of antiviral medicines which blot this function. Left square bracket 3 right square bracket. In virology, gain-of-function research is usually employed with the intention of better understanding current and future pandemics. Left square bracket 4 right square bracket. In vaccine development, gain-of-function research is conducted in the hope of gaining a head start on a virus and being able to develop a vaccine or therapeutic before it emerges. Left square bracket 4 right square bracket. The term gain-of-function is sometimes applied more narrowly to refer to research which could enable a pandemic potential pathogen to replicate more quickly or cause more harm in humans or other closely related mammals. Left square bracket 5 right square bracket left square bracket 6 right square bracket. Some forms of gain-of-function research, specifically work which involves certain select agent pathogens, carry inherent biosafety and biosecurity risks, and are thus also referred to as dual-use research of concern, DHAKA. Left square bracket 7 right square bracket. To mitigate these risks, while allowing the benefits of such research, various governments have mandated that DHAKA experiments be regulated under additional oversight by institutions, so-called institutional DHAKA committees. Left square bracket 8 right square bracket. And government agencies, such as the NIPS Recombinant DNA Advisory Committee. Left square bracket 9 right square bracket left square bracket 10 right square bracket left square bracket 11 right square bracket. A mirrored approach can be seen in the European Union's Dual-Use Coordination Group, DHAKA. Left square bracket 12 right square bracket left square bracket 13 right square bracket left square bracket 14 right square bracket. Importantly, the US and EU regulations both mandate that an unaffiliated member of the public, or several, be active participants in the oversight process. Left square bracket 15 right square bracket left square bracket 16 right square bracket left square bracket 17 right square bracket left square bracket 18 right square bracket. Significant debate has taken place in the scientific community on how to assess the risks and benefit of gain-of-function research, how to publish such research responsibly, and how to engage the public in an open and honest review. Left square bracket 19 right square bracket left square bracket 20 right square bracket left square bracket 7 right square bracket left square bracket 21 right square bracket. In January 2020, the National Science Advisory Board for Biosecurity convened an expert panel to revisit the rules for gain-of-function research and provide more clarity in how such experiments are approved, and when they should be disclosed to the public. Left square bracket 22 right square bracket left square bracket 23 right square bracket. Experiments that have been referred to as gain-of-function. See also CRISPR. This section may require cleanup to meet Wikipedia's quality standards. The specific problem is WP Cross-Align. Please help improve this section, if you can. April 2021. Learn how and when to remove this template message. In early 2011, two groups were investigating how flu viruses specific to birds could possibly cross over and create pandemics in humans. One led by Yoshihiro Kaioka at the University of Wisconsin and Dash Madison in Madison, Wisconsin, and another led by Ron Fauci at Erasmus University Medical Center in the Netherlands. Left square bracket 24 right square bracket left square bracket 25 right square bracket. Both groups had both serially passaged H5N1 avian influenza in ferrets, manually taking the virus from one ferret to another, until it was capable of spreading via respiratory droplets. The normally bird-specific virus, through replication over time in the ferret's lungs, had adopted several amino acid changes that enabled it to replicate in the mammalian lungs, which are notably colder than those found in birds. Left square bracket 26 right square bracket left square bracket 27 right square bracket. This small change also allowed the virus to transmit via droplets in the air made when the ferrets coughed or sneezed. Left square bracket 24 right square bracket. Proponents of the DHAKA and Fauci experiments cited several benefits. These answered the question of how a virus like H5N1 could possibly become airborne in humans, allowed other researchers to develop vaccines and therapeutics which specifically targeted these amino acid changes. Left square bracket 28 right square bracket left square bracket 29 right square bracket left square bracket 30 right square bracket, and also demonstrated that there was a linkage between transmissibility in avian viruses and lethality. While the virus had become more transmissible, it had also become significantly less deadly. Left square bracket 25 right square bracket left square bracket 31 right square bracket left square bracket 32 right square bracket. Various critics of the research, including members of Congress, responded to the publications with alarm. Others called the experiments an engineered doomsday. Left square bracket 33 right square bracket. Questions were raised by other scientists including Mark Lipsitch of the T.H. Chan School of Public Health at Harvard University about the relative risks and benefits of this research. Left square bracket 34 right square bracket. At an international technical consultation convened by the WHO, it was concluded that this work was an important contribution to public health surveillance of H5N1 viruses and to a better understanding of the properties of these viruses, but that broader global discussions were needed. The European Academies of Science Advisory Council, ESAC, concluded that all required laws, rules, regulations, and codes of conduct are in place in several EU countries to continue this type of work responsibly. In the USA, where regulations were previously less strict than in the EU, a new governmental policy and review mechanism was launched for potential pandemic pathogen care and oversight, P3CO. In May 2013, a group led by Huolan Chen, director of China's National Avian Influenza Reference Laboratory, published several experiments they had conducted at the BSL-3+ laboratory of the Harbin Veterinary Research Institute, investigating what would happen if a 2009 H1N1 circulating in humans infected the same cell as an avian influenza H5N1. Left square bracket 35 right square bracket. Importantly, the experiments had been conducted before a research pause on H5N1 experiments had been agreed upon by the greater virologist community. Left square bracket 36 right square bracket left square bracket 37 right square bracket. They used these experiments to determine that certain genes, if reassorted in such a dual infection scenario in the wild, would allow transmission of the H5N1 virus more easily in mammals, notably guinea pigs as a model organism for rodent species, proving that certain agricultural scenarios carry the risk of allowing H5N1 to cross over into mammals. As in the Fauci and DHAKA experiments above, the viruses in this study were also significantly less lethal after the modification. Left square bracket 37 right square bracket left square bracket 38 right square bracket. Critics of the 2013 Chen Group study, including Simon Wayne Hobson of the Pasteur Institute and former Royal Society President Robert May, decried this as an unsafe experiment that was unnecessary to prove the intended conclusions, calling Chen's work appallingly irresponsible and also raising concerns about the biosafety of the laboratory itself. Left square bracket 38 right square bracket. Others, including the director of the WHO Collaborating Center on Influenza in Tokyo, Masato Toshiro, praised Chen's laboratory as state-of-the-art. Jeremy Ferrer, director of the Oxford University Clinical Research Unit in Ho Chi Minh City, described the work as remarkable and said that it demonstrated the very real threat that continued circulation of H5N1 strains in Asia and Egypt poses. Left square bracket 36 right square bracket. A preprint by Boston University researchers, published on the 14th of October 2022, described their experiment splicing the SARS-CoV-2 BA.1 Omicron spike protein into an ancestral SARS-CoV-2 variant isolated in the early days of the pandemic, creating a new chimeric version of the virus. All of the 6 mice exposed to the ancestral variant died, 8 of the 10 mice exposed to the chimeric variant died, and none of the 10 mice exposed to Omicron died. This suggests that mutations outside of spike are major determinants of the attenuated pathogenicity of Omicron 209 in K18HAs2 mice. According to the preprint, the work was supported by grants from various branches of the NIH. However, the NIH later denied funding the experiments. The researchers later stated the NIH did not fund the experiments directly. Left square bracket for D9 right square bracket left square bracket 40 right square bracket. On the 17th of October, the Daily Mail ran the headline Boston University creates a new COVID strain that has an 80% kill rate and scheduling dangerous experiments feared to have started the pandemic. The headline was later flagged as part of Facebook's efforts to combat false news and misinformation. PolitiFact noted the lab leak theory was unproven, and also stated citing the 80% figure alone leaves out key context, including that the resulting strain was less fatal than the original, which killed 100% of mice. Experts say this kind of research is not unusual and the experiment was conducted in accordance with accepted safety procedures. Left square bracket 41 right square bracket all research funded by the NIH that can make COVID more virulent or transmissible must undergo an extra gain-of-function review. Critics charge that, because the chimera could have combined Omicron's high transmissibility with the ancestral strain's lethality, the experiment should have undergone the extra review. The researchers deny that the research was funded by the NIH, and also deny that the experiment qualified as gain of function in the first place. Left square bracket for D9 right square bracket left square bracket 42 right square bracket. Gain of function research of concern. Significant debate has taken place in the scientific community on how to assess risk-benefit of gain of function research, and how to engage the public in deliberations for policy making. These concerns encompass biosafety, relating to the accidental release of a pathogen into the population, biosecurity relating to the intentional release of a pathogen into the population, and bioethics, the principles of biorisk management and research review procedures. Left square bracket 3 right square bracket. Academic Symposia Gain of Function Research, a symposium in December 2014. The National Research Council and the Institute of Medicine organized a 2-day symposium to discuss the potential risks and benefits of gain of function research. The event was attended by scientists from around the world, including George Gale, Gabriel Lung and Michael Silgelid, Barak Fiskhoff, Al Tachero, Harvey Finneberg, Jonathan Marino, Ralph Cicerone, Margaret Hamburg, Joe Handelsman, Samuel Stanley, Kenneth Burns, Ralph Barrick, Robert Lamb, Sil Giovannitti, Gigi Fukuda, David Relman, and Mark Lipsitch. Left square bracket 43 right square bracket. Shortly thereafter, the U.S. government granted exceptions to the GO/FR moratorium to 7 out of 18 research projects that had been affected. Left square bracket 44 right square bracket. Gain of Function Research, a second symposium on March 10 and 11, 2016. The National Academies of Sciences, Engineering, and Medicine held its second public symposium to discuss potential U.S. government policies for the oversight of gain of function (GOF) research. The symposium was held at the request of the U.S. government to provide a mechanism to engage the life sciences community and the broader public and solicit feedback on optimal approaches to ensure effective federal oversight of GOF research, as part of a broader U.S. government deliberative process. Left square bracket 45 right square bracket. Academic Advocacy Groups Cambridge Working Group. The Cambridge Working Group was formed by Harvard epidemiologist Mark Lipsitch with fellow scientists at a meeting held in Cambridge, Massachusetts, following a trifecta of biosecurity incidents involving the CDC, including the accidental exposure of viable anthrax to personnel at CDC's Roybal campus. Left square bracket 46 right square bracket left square bracket 47 right square bracket. The discovery of 6 vials containing viable smallpox from the 1950s, labeled as Virula but in a box with other samples poorly labeled, at the FDA's White Oak campus. Left square bracket 48 right square bracket. And the accidental shipping of H9N2 vials contaminated with H5N1 from the CDC lab to a USDA lab. Left square bracket 49 right square bracket. On July 14, 2014, the group published a consensus statement offered by 18 founding members, including Emma Redderin, Barry Bloom, Arturo Casadevall, Richard H. Abright, Allison Galvani, Edward Hammond, Thomas Inglesby, Michael Osterholm, David Relman, Richard Roberts, Marcel Sullivan, Sil Giovannitti, Since its initial publication, over 300 scientists, academics, and physicians have added their signature. Left square bracket 50 right square bracket left square bracket 51 right square bracket. The statement advocates for all work involving potential pandemic pathogens to be halted until a quantitative and objective assessment of the risks has been undertaken. It then argues that alternative approaches that do not involve such risks should be used instead. Left square bracket 50 right square bracket left square bracket 52 right square bracket left square bracket 53 right square bracket. The group engaged in public advocacy, influencing the U.S. government's decision in December 2014 to suspend funding of research that would create certain types of novel potential pandemic pathogens. Left square bracket 54 right square bracket. Scientists for Science. Shortly after the Cambridge Working Group released its position statement, Scientists for Science was formed by 37 signatories taking an alternative position that biomedical research on potentially dangerous pathogens can be performed safely and is essential for a comprehensive understanding of microbial disease pathogenesis, prevention and treatment. Left square bracket 55 right square bracket. Since its publication, the SFS statement has received 200 plus signatures from working scientists, academics, and biosafety professionals. Left square bracket 56 right square bracket. One of the group's founding members, University of Pittsburgh virologist W. Paul Duprix, has argued, see 2014, that within recent few events were exceptions to an overall good record of lab safety, and that these exceptions should not have been a reason for shutting down experiments that may have been of tangible benefit to public health. Left square bracket 57 right square bracket. He and other SFS signatories have argued that these pathogens are already subject to extensive regulations and that it would be more advantageous and effective to focus on improving lab safety and oversight, ensuring that experiments are conducted in the public interest. Left square bracket 58 right square bracket left square bracket 59 right square bracket. Notable signatories are Constance Sepko, Dixon Despommier, Erica Allman Sapphire, Jeffrey Smith, Carla Kierkegaard, Sean Wellen, Vincent Racanilo and Yoshihiro Kaioka. Columbia University virologist Ian Lipkin, who signed both statements, said there has to be a coming together of what should be done. Left square bracket 60 right square bracket. Founders of both groups published a series of letters detailing their discussions and viewpoints. Left square bracket 59 right square bracket. All authors, however, agreed that more education of the public and open discussion of the risks and benefits was necessary. Several also wrote that sensationalized headlines and framings of the ongoing process as a debate with opposing sides had negatively affected the process, while the reality is much more collegial. Left square bracket 59 right square bracket. International policies and regulations. International outlook and engagement on gain-of-function research policy and regulation vary by country and region. Due to the potential effect on the global community at large, the ethical acceptability of such experiments depends on the extent to which it is accepted internationally. Left square bracket 61 right square bracket. In 2010, the World Health Organization developed a non-binding guidance document for DHAKA, summarizing the positions of many different nations as self-governing and others as strictly following oversight based on the international health regulations, the Biological and Toxin Weapons Convention (BTWC), and the Center for International Security Studies Biological Research Security System. The document also recommended the aforementioned as potential resources for countries to develop their own policies and procedures for DHAKA. Left square bracket 62 right square bracket left square bracket 63 right square bracket left square bracket 64 right square bracket. European Union. The European Academy Science Advisory Council has formed a working group to examine the issues raised by gain-of-function research and to make recommendations for the management of such research and its outputs. Left square bracket 10 right square bracket. The possibility for developing common approaches between the United States and Europe has been explored. Left square bracket 65 right square bracket. In May 2014, the German National Ethics Council presented a report to the Bundestag on proposed guidance for governance of GO/FR. Left square bracket 66 right square bracket. The report called for national legislation on DHAKA. As of May 2021, The German government has not passed the endorsed legislation. Left square bracket 67 right square bracket. The NEC also proposed a national code of conduct for researchers to consent, endorsing which experiments qualify as misconduct and which do not, based on founding principles of public benefit. Left square bracket 68 right square bracket. The German Research Foundation and German National Academy of Sciences made a joint suggestion to expand the role of existing research ethics committees to also evaluate proposals of DHAKA. Left square bracket 69 right square bracket. United States gain of function research moratorium from 2014 to 2017. The White House Office of Science and Technology Policy and the Department of Health and Human Services instituted a gain of function research moratorium and funding pause on any dual-use research into specific pandemic potential pathogens, influenza, MERS, and SARS, while the regulatory environment and review process were reconsidered and overhauled. Left square bracket 54 right square bracket. Under the moratorium, any laboratory who conducted such research would put their future funding, for any project, not just the indicated pathogens, in jeopardy. Left square bracket 70 right square bracket. Left square bracket 71 right square bracket. Left square bracket 72 right square bracket. Left square bracket 73 right square bracket. The NIT has said 18 studies were affected by the moratorium. Left square bracket 74 right square bracket. The moratorium was a response to laboratory biosecurity incidents that occurred in 2014, including not properly inactivating anthrax samples. Left square bracket 75 right square bracket. The discovery of unlocked smallpox samples. Left square bracket 76 right square bracket. And injecting a chicken with the wrong strain of influenza. Left square bracket 77 right square bracket. These incidents were not related to gain of function research. One of the goals of the moratorium was to reduce the handling of dangerous pathogens by all laboratories until safety procedures were evaluated and improved. Subsequently, symposia and expert panels were convened by the National Science Advisory Board for Biosecurity, NSAB, and National Research Council (NRC). Left square bracket 78 right square bracket. In May 2016, left square bracket 5 right square bracket. The NSAB published recommendations for the evaluation and oversight of proposed gain of function research. Left square bracket 79 right square bracket. On 9 January 2017, the HHS published the recommended policy guidance for departmental development of review mechanisms for potential pandemic pathogen care and oversight, P3CO. Left square bracket 5 right square bracket. This report sets out how pandemic potential pathogens should be regulated, funded, stored, and researched to minimize threats to public health and safety. On the 19th of December 2017, the NIT lifted the moratorium, because gain of function research was deemed important in helping us identify, understand, and develop strategies and effective countermeasures against rapidly evolving pathogens that pose a threat to public health. Left square bracket 80 right square bracket. COVID-19 pandemic. See also, COVID-19 lab leak hypothesis and COVID-19 misinformation section. Sign Wuhan lab origin. During the COVID-19 pandemic, a number of speculative theories emerged about the origin of the SARS-CoV-2 virus and links to gain of function research. Left square bracket 81 right square bracket. Left square bracket 82 right square bracket. Left square bracket 83 right square bracket. Left square bracket 84 right square bracket. In January 2021, University of Saskatchewan virologist Angela Rasmussen wrote that one version of the information invoked previous gain of function work on coronaviruses to promulgate the idea that the virus was of laboratory origin. Rasmussen stated that this was unlikely, due to the intense scrutiny and government oversight to which GOFR is subject, and it is improbable that research on hard-to-obtain coronaviruses could occur under the radar. Left square bracket 85 right square bracket. In a congressional hearing on May 11, 2021, about Anthony Fauci's role as the chief medical advisor to the United States Office of the President, Senator Rand Paul stated that the U.S. has been collaborating with Shih Hengley of the Wuhan Virology Institute, sharing discoveries about how to create superviruses. This gain of function research has been funded by the NIT. Fossey responded, with all due respect, you are entirely and completely incorrect. The NIT has not ever and does not now fund gain-of-function research left square bracket conducted at right square bracket the Wuhan Institute of Virology. Left square bracket 86 right square bracket. The Washington Post fact-checking team later rated Paul's statements as containing significant omissions and or exaggerations. Left square bracket 86 right square bracket left square bracket 87 right square bracket NIT funding to the EcoHealth Alliance and later subcontracted to the Wuhan Institute of Virology was not to support gain-of-function experiments, but instead to enable the collection of bat samples in the wild. Left square bracket 86 right square bracket left square bracket 88 right square bracket EcoHealth Alliance spokesperson Robert Kessler has also categorically denied the accusation. Left square bracket 86 right square bracket. The Washington Post also quoted Rutgers University biosecurity expert Richard Abright's dissenting opinion about Fossey's testimony, demonstrating that there is disagreement about what qualifies as gain-of-function research. Abright asserted that experiments conducted under the EcoHealth grant met the definition for gain-of-function research of concern under the 2014 clause. Left square bracket 86 right square bracket MIT molecular biologist Alina Chen has argued that these experiments would not have been affected by the 2014 moratorium, because the experiments involved naturally occurring viruses, adding that the moratorium had no teeth. Left square bracket 89 right square bracket. Several scientists have criticized the U.S. government's GO/FR regulations as having serious shortcomings, especially with regard to the NIT's funding of the EcoHealth Alliance grant proposal. Abright has remarked that the process is not applied to all experiments which are implicated in the government's policies, while virologists David Relman and Angela Rasmussen have cited a worrying lack of transparency from oversight panels. Left square bracket 90 right square bracket.